What's up, everybody,
Yes.
and welcome back to the Unplayable YouTube channel. We're here with a bajillion more Lorcana spoilers. It's only been a week, and you said we have 33 to cover. Is that correct?
There's 33.
33.
Some
So
of these
we're not
we
going to
haven't
waste
played
any
yet.
time.
There's a lot.
There's so many. So we're going to waste no time. We're going to get right into it. Here we go. What do we got? First up, we've got the old Duke of Weaseltown, Wesselton, for the Disney fans. One cost inkable,
Boring.
green, 2/2, vanilla with one Lord Pip at common. Oh, but he's a villain. He's a villain.
This character is more exciting than the card.
He's a villain.
Villain's relevant,
Next.
but yeah, next.
That Hades deck. I'm just going to say it. The Hades deck is coming together. All right, next up,
One
we've
down,
got
32 to go.
from Frozen, Scepter of Arendelle. It's blue. It costs 1. It's inkable. It's an item, Mike's favorite kind of card. And it says command,
That's right.
exert this thing. Chosen character gains support this turn. In parentheses, whenever they quest, you may add their strength to another character's strength this turn.
I don't think it's that bad. I mean, for
I
a
feel
one
like it.
cost and then you don't have to pay to use it, it seems like it's decent enough for you to just pay 1 and get to do it for the rest of the game. I can see like if you drop this turn 1, you're missing a 1 drop, that's fine. But then for the rest of the game, you're always going to be able to probably add 2 characters together to take down something that has higher health, which could be relevant. So like, I mean, even like turn 5 when they drop their Moana and then use it, like being able to swing in for 6 when you don't have anything that has 6 damage seems decent.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, this just nets you like 1 extra lore every turn that you use it. Cool.
Yeah, trading up is always nice, but yeah, it seems
I like
fine.
We needed more blue items.
Yes,
we have-
that's very true.
Another blue item.
Any number of additional items makes me excited, but we still haven't seen like the payoff card that makes it all come together. So
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
Jim, how could you end up net 1 extra lore? I don't understand what you're saying there.
So,
Instead of
you're-
having to attack.
yeah, you're not using both of them to attack. So you're getting to quest with 1, attack the other, and
Got
you're
it.
taking
Okay.
less damage by doing so. So
Okay,
it's 2
I'm
things that are
tracking your
working
logic now. Yeah. Okay. All right, next up, we've got Ol Hans, the Skimming Prince in green. Cost 4. He's inkable. He's a 3/3 with 3 lore pips. He's a 3/3/3. He's a 4/3/3/3.
here.
And he's a villain.
yeah, this is good. This is good. I think it's the cheapest way to get 3 lore on a character, and having 3 lore on a character is like really good. So
Real strong.
yeah, I think it's pretty decent.
Green
I
is
also
showing
think it's
up with the
really
lore
good.
pips. Woo.
Yes, it is. We'll see more of that later. But yeah, green is looking really interesting lately. I'm pretty excited about green.
Yeah. 3/3 is like super weak. Paying 4 to get smashed feels kind of bad, but I mean, it always feels good to drop a character that has 3 lore, and dropping
Yeah.
it that early is sweet.
The other thing I like about it is like it costs 4, but it demands an answer,
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and so you can like bait out removal with him before you play, like, Genie, before you play Kuzco, before you play other stuff. Not that Kuzco can get hit by removal, which we'll find out later, but I really like that card.
Yeah.
This next card, not so much.
All right. The next
What
one
is
is Stampede. It costs 1. It's green. It's not inkable. It's an action that says deal 2 damage to chosen damaged character. And I think we probably had some of the most feisty debate about this card when it was spoiled. Because Mike, you don't like it. I do like it. Jay, Jim, where are you guys on this?
It's just
side with
strict.
Mike.
I'll say what everyone else will say. It's just strictly a worse fire the cannons.
Yeah.
Like,
But is it supposed
the
to be?
same
Because
amount of
it's
damage, the
ink
same
identity.
cost,
It's not supposed
it's
to be fire the
uninkable.
cannons.
Well, it should
Yeah,
be 3
but-
damage then.
yeah.
I mean,
But green
at least
isn't
let this
supposed to
inkable
be
if
the
we're gonna make it
damage
strictly
ink.
worse.
Okay, regardless of ink identity, it is literally the same exact card because it's uninkable, costs 1, and deals 2. It just has one additional condition.
Right.
So it's worse.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think,
Yeah.
but you can't just compare them because it might be a completely different.
But so I'm already cutting Fire the Cannons from a lot of my steel decks.
Mhm.
So I think I probably don't ever want to play a worse version of that in a different color. If I want to play Fire the Cannons up, I'm going to play steel and I'm going to play Fire the Cannons. I'm not going to,
But here's
like,
where
yes,
I think
it's different. It's technically different, but I think it's just bad.
Okay, well, but here's where I think it's different. I think in green you have less strength in general, but more powerful effects. So like,
Do you have ways to turn this on in green though?
Well, but Kuzco.
Yeah, so it
like,
feeds into the reckless theme where it's
Sure.
like they're trading into you. You're forcing them to attack into you, so they're obviously going to do the favorable trades. So they're going to have characters with damage on them. Right?
I just think you've got green characters with low strength who are going to be damaged because they have to take care of your Hans, your Kuzcos, your whatever. That they're not going to die because they only take 2 in return. But then Stampede will close it out. So be like, okay, I need to get rid of this. It's a must answer card. I think this is going to get more mileage than you think, but we'll see.
I agree that there are situations where this is useful, but I can't imagine wanting this card in a deck over another card.
Agreed.
And it would be more playable if it was inkable.
Yeah, if it was inkable, that's a completely different story. But it's not inkable. You're not ever playing this on turn 1 or probably not turn 2. Like this just sitting in your hand for like 3 or 4 turns until you just like deal 2 damage to something.
Well, let's come back to this card.
Feel terrible about it.
Let's come back to this card when the full set is revealed.
As your uninkable card over Genie? I mean, really? Come on.
It's not either or. That's a false dichotomy.
Yeah, but you're only including so many in your deck, and there's so many other ones.
Okay, but you usually put like 24 in your deck, Jay. So I mean,
no, that's Mike. That's Mike.
Hey, I'll say that
happened to me once.
Objectively awful card.
Let's go.
Oh, okay.
3 against 1.
This is just throw fuel on my fire. This is Red Hero already.
David lives for this.
This is exactly what I need to hear. Stay tuned on our next YouTube gameplay video. All right, we got to keep going. Marshmallow is a new purple spoiler. Cost 6, not inkable. So might as well go to the next card, right, guys? It's not inkable. We can't play it.
Right.
Okay,
Marshmallow. It's a 5/5 with 1 lore pip. It has an ability durable. When this character is banished in a challenge, you may return this card to your hand. So I think that's the first time we've seen something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But like, it's not if you're doing the challenge, like if it's just
like
any challenge.
Brooms, right? The brooms have that, so this is just like a giant broom.
Oh yeah, good, yeah.
So I think it's fine.
It's a giant broom, and I already don't play brooms, so and those are inkable. This ain't.
It's true.
I think it's fine.
Let me pair this with the scepter, get that guy doing all the damage. I don't know, but I don't see myself playing this
card. I feel like you need to play this card with the Pocket Watch to give it rush. Mm. Then, I mean, it's 7 for like 5 damage to something. You get to repeat it over and over again. So like the card advantage part is really nice. I feel like this is a good card into like a control mirror where you're sort of just like trading threats back and forth, and whoever ends up with the card advantage is the one that wins. This can maybe get you there, but I don't really think it has that many other uses personally.
In a control deck, it feels good too, because like you're going to be going late, so you're going to get to 6 and be able to like get actual value out of bringing this back multiple times. Mm-hmm. My issue with that is purple's not a control color, so it's like, are you going to be playing a control deck as purple? Maybe that becomes a thing, but like right now it doesn't feel like. If you're going control, you're probably going steel or red or blue, not purple.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll get more cards that lend purple towards that strategy, because we do have, like, there's a lot of card advantage cards in purple. Mm-hmm. And so it could serve as like a supplementary color for a control deck, and just provide that card advantage to a different color that is providing like the threats. But this is like a decent sort of recurring threat over the course of a game if you're in the right matchup. I think the one downside is that this is not good in like a rush matchup, and it's not inkable. So it feels like a tech card that you can't ink, which feels bad.
Yeah.
Like I never want to play a tech card that I can't ink in this game. So
All right, let's keep going.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we've got Vicious Betrayal, probably some of my favorite art they've released so far. It's a 1-cost green action. Scar throwing Mufasa off the cliff. It says chosen character gets...
The saddest scene in Lion King is your favorite art in this game so far.
This says a lot about his love for Stampede.
Anyways, chosen character gets +2 strength this turn. If a villain character is chosen to get +3 instead.
Villain. This makes that first one that we saw, the Wesselton guy.
Yeah,
he's actually good now.
Dude, that Duke turns into a
he's swinging for
5 5 damage tank.
It costs you 2 cards though.
Don't cross the Duke. Don't cross the Duke.
I don't love this card. I just think, like y'all were saying earlier, like if that's not really Green's identity to be like wanting to swing it in and making those like better trades, like it's probably fine as a card, but feels a little bit weird for like what.
I like this better than Stampede. This is better than
infinitely
Stampede.
better.
Well, you
than
can ink
Stampede.
it.
That card's trash.
Ink it, and it's 3 instead of just 2.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like in a similar vein of Fire the Cannons or whatever, but it actually goes up to 3. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. Why would the other one not be inkable but doesn't get to go to 3 and has another condition, but this one's inkable and it could possibly get to 3? It's
I mean, you do also have to have a character in play that is
for sure
able to attack, but I think that is what makes this card not great, is that a lot of the times you're just going to 2-for-1 yourself. You're going to pump your dude and it's going to trade into something. Maybe it was bigger than it, but you're down a card now. Mm-hmm. And cards are so valuable in this game that I don't know if that's worth it. But yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Do you like it better than Smash?
No, I like Smash better.
You like Smash better? It costs 3 though.
Yeah, but you can target whatever you want with it, and it's just 1-for-1. Like,
and you can also quest with your guys. Yeah. So you can kill their threats and quest. I'm with Mike. I like Smash better.
Yeah, and you can target a ready thing. So
yeah,
it's just better. Okay.
All right. We've got Be Prepared. It's a 7-cost red action. 7, y'all. It is a song, though, so it can be sung by the character with 7 costs. And it says, finally, banish all characters. They're gone. Everything.
What's so funny is, like, literally minutes before this was revealed, I think, Chris was saying how he wants this song to be in the game. And then they dropped it, which is cool.
That's awesome.
Maybe he has some insider knowledge there.
Don't start rumors now. I think it's a fantastic card, by the way.
Oh, I love it. We've seen at least one game on our YouTube channel, possibly more coming, where this has an interesting effect. So I think not only is this card good, I think this card is important to have in a game like Lorcana. So yeah,
this is the like turn the tides card as well, that like you can actually like start swinging the board back in your favor,
especially as a control deck.
Yes, and I don't know how often you're singing to do that, but just the fact that you have that ability is just like fantastic.
That makes it really, really powerful. Good. Actually, like if you shift into Aladdin on 5, you can sing this immediately. So the earliest you can play this right now is turn 5. Actually, probably sooner if you're playing Sapphire and you can ramp into it. So you could probably play this like turn 4. Mm-hmm. And then you can sing.
I don't know if you would want to do that.
You probably wouldn't. But like the power in it is that, in a lot of other games, you wipe the board and then you can't get onto the board before your opponent does on their turn. If you sing it, you still have a hand of cards and you still have ink available. You can wipe their board and then immediately get onto the board yourself and kind of take the tempo back, which is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
This makes me think if there's ever any sort of like discard mechanics as well in this game, that like I just sign me up for this and let me get that card advantage all day.
Yeah. Yeah, cards wild. Definitely changes the game. There's been plenty of cards that have like changed how we think about the game. I think that is like easily one of them.
Especially like it gives ramp decks way more of a like edge against decks that are able to rush Amber super fast, or not Amber, Lore super fast, and like get way ahead of you while you're setting up for the first 3 turns, playing Detective Mickey's, and one jumps ahead and not like actually doing anything, and then they're like go wide, and then you hit. I mean, even just if like turn 5, you play Aladdin, shift, and steal some more from them, and then you're able to sing it on turn 6 when they have a bunch of people on the board, and it just like really swings it back into your favor.
Yeah,
the fact that it's not,
gives.
Go ahead, Jim. I was gonna say the fact that it's not just steal that can help with the super tiny go wide strategy. So now you can use steel or red. It just gives you that many more options, which is awesome.
Right.
Yeah. I before this card was released, I think Steel Sapphire was probably the top deck. I think after this, I think Ruby Sapphire is the top deck, and this card like single-handedly just makes it.
Yep.
Woo!
For sure.
Hot takes incoming. I love how we have metas right now that last for 2 or 3 days, and then
it's
it changes.
So fun.
It's actually fun though.
It is. I do like it. I like it a lot.
They should release cards like this when they drop new sets.
In every game, especially if it's new sets every 3 months. We could do that every single. Yeah. All right. We got another song. A whole new world. No, I won't do it. Okay. 5 costs. Not inkable. Still action song. So character with cost 5 or more can exert to sing it for free. And then each player discards their hand and draws the 7 cards.
Wow.
Like, wow. I mean, this card. I'm like, okay, the game's totally different now. This is wild. I love it. It's good old Professor Oak for both players, for the Pokemon people out there. I love this.
Who actually play Pokemon TCG, you're welcome.
It's hard not to love this unless Mike turns it into a mill card, and then I hate it.
I think it's really hard to mill in this game. There's 60 cards in a deck. You're only discarding 7 cards. Like, maybe you do some shenanigans with green and like recur it a bunch of times, but I mean, if you can get there, like, more power to you.
I've hated the 60 card deck thing so far, and this makes it a little bit more palatable.
Like it.
Yeah. I'm like, why are cards? Why do decks have to be that big? Like, why not 50 cards and 3 per?
So you don't get milled by this card.
Yeah, I guess.
Now,
I do think what you said there, Mike, though, is an important thing for like as they continue to progress in this game, that they have to be mindful of like any sort of action recursion. You have to look at this card and it's like, is this going to just straight mill somebody on turn 1? Like, we don't want to get to that point of a game ever.
This does disrupt combo decks.
Yes.
Well, sort of.
Which I like combo decks, but unless they're like completely broken combos, but I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like another card that sort of changes how you have to think about the game when you're playing against Steel, because you can't really sculpt a hand to late game if you know that they're just going to dump it and make you redraw. I mean, you're redrawing into 7 cards, so you're going to have some other good options, hopefully. But just a really, really fun card. Both times that I've seen it played, it's just been a really, really like entertaining game of just like, new possibilities. Like, to me, that's the fun part about a game.
Fresh start. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a whole new hand.
Yes, exactly.
I was gonna say I like with this next card we're about to talk about, but like in general, green does a lot of bouncing back to hand. So if you can bounce all the characters back and then play a whole new world, it feels really good because they get less benefit from it, and it makes your bounces like better pretty much at the same time, which is cool.
Yep.
And if you're playing against Steel, do you just like try to play as many cards as you can as fast as you can if you know they're about to play that card?
It's so tough because you like walk into their like board wipes too, and then like Steel is so interesting. If you walk, if you play out your entire hand and they're sitting there on a bunch of cards, they can just wipe your board and then they're ahead. But if you play out if you don't play all of your stuff and you kind of hold back, then they can play this and sort of ruin your life that way. So Steel's good.
All right, we got another song, guys. It's a green song, Mother Knows Best. Cost 3. It's not inkable. And so again, obviously, character would cost 3 or more can exert to sing the song for free, and it says return chosen character to their player's hand. So more bounce, like you said.
Jay loves this card.
I wouldn't say I love this card. I do think that at critical times being able to bounce characters feels pretty good, but at the same time they have so many characters now that do stuff on play that it feels bad to just give it back to them.
Yeah,
especially in Steel, it's like bounce a Captain Hook, they're gonna get Fire the Cannons back. Bounce a Tinkerbell, they're gonna do 1 damage again to all your stuff. Or Genie, bounce one of your things again. All kinds of like different characters that have play effects.
yeah.
But at the same time, it's like if they have a big bodyguard like Mickey on the board and you really need to take something else out, this helps you get past it. I mean, there's a lot of really good use cases for it, but it's also like just strictly worse than defeating a character.
Yeah.
So
I also think, like we talked about, like Hans is a great example of like a 4-cost vanilla with 3 lore. Especially in green, you might not have something that can hit for 3 sitting on the board because you got Cheshire Cat and Cruella de Vil and like and even Kuzco, all these guys that just cannot hit for higher than like 2. And so being able to be like, oh gosh, here's this thing I don't know what to do. Okay, I'll stall them 1 more turn, pop it to their hand.
Yeah.
Which might be why Lady Tremaine only had 1 lore pit.
Mike, why do you hate this card?
I actually don't anymore. So when this card was spoiled, I thought it was absolutely terrible. Maybe not terrible, but just like bad value. You're paying 3, it's uninkable. You're losing a card, they're gaining a card essentially. But there's 2 things that I think make this card really good. One is the fact that it's a song. And so you can you can play the song for free by singing it with one of your characters and like get even further ahead of your opponent. So this is like the ultimate tempo like card.
Especially if it's like Cheshire Cat that you're singing with. So now it's like I exhausted my guy, but if you attack him, you're just being banished anyway. Exactly.
And the second thing I like about it is like in the games that we've played with this card in it, Jay, like it's been like the tempo has been incredibly relevant. It's like I'm thinking back to the game where I was playing the 8-cost Elsa, and I'm spending all this ink to play an 8-cost Elsa to the board, lock your board down, and then all you have to do is spend 3, bounce that to my hand, and like I'm just like I'm sad. Yeah, I'm time locked. I can play it again, but as I'm sort of spending more ink than you are on my stuff, you're getting ahead on board while I'm doing that. So I think this is like can be really powerful in like a late game scenario. And there's a ton of recursion in green and a lot of other bounce in green that can sort of just like keep that tempo going. So I'm like, I wasn't convinced that a tempo deck was possible in this game, but now I am, and it's kind of exciting.
And a lot of people were complaining about evasive decks for a while, and like this just pops your old BLT sandwich Mickey.
Yeah.
No play effect. Do I want to bounce your Maleficent? No, but bouncing Mickey and stalling out that 4 lore pickup, I think is fine.
Yeah. I think in a deck that is trying to do some action recursion, that's exactly the card that I want like 1 or 2 copies of that like I can play early, but then it's in my graveyard for when I actually need it later.
Yeah, you have like that toolboxy kind of vibe where you can just kind of like, recur whatever you need to in the moment.
Yeah. And I also like it for like I feel like the blue Mickey that I hated for so long, the non-inkable, like get this stuff like that's like, oh, he can sing this stuff because you're not gonna. It's a 1/3. What do you with 1 lore pip? You're kind of like whatever. But if I can just use it to sing every round, like I mean, I don't know. All right, we got another song. Reflection costs 1. It's inkable, and it says, "Look at the top 3 cards." It's purple. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Put them back on the top of your deck in any order. What do we think?
Trash card, one of the worst cards in the game. I'm not kidding.
Say it like you mean it, Mike.
I think this is like legit unplayable. Like, why would you ever want this card? You're not like you're spending a card.
Have we said that?
Just like manipulate the top of your deck. That's it. Like an entire card is gone from your hand. just so that you can search 3 cards deep and put one, hope that one of them is the one that you want to be on top in that moment.
I would much rather just have card draw than this. I mean, if you could cycle them to the bottom, like Scry and like other games could, like I'd be fine with this because card draw is good. But the fact that you're just, okay, I know what cards I'm about to draw.
You have to put them back on top. You don't even have the option of like, okay, none of those were like the combo piece that I needed to win this game. I'm going to put them on the bottom. You can't do that. You're stuck. These are the 3 cards that you're drawing next no matter what.
Yeah. Like,
okay, what if... Sorry, what if... Because it's Mulan. So, like, I feel like they do try to play into themes a little bit. And we've only seen one Mulan. It's very attacky, a very aggressive red card. But what if the other Mulan is very much like toying with the top card of your deck? Like a wild wormhole from Keyforge. Like, play the top card of your deck.
Instant win the game.
Yeah, and then you win the game.
That's a different story, yeah. So, I think knowing that what we know now, card's terrible. Does it have the potential to be good? Maybe.
Yeah. I would love a card in Lorcana like Wild Wormhole that just says play the top card of your deck and see what happens.
Yeah.
It's so good.
That would be insane in this game.
Okay, we've got another Lion King, Hakuna Matata. I'm so excited to see this. It costs 4. It's inkable. It's a song. And obviously, character with cost 4 more can exert to sing the song for free. Remove up to 3 damage from each of your characters. So Tinkerboom comes down, drops 1 onto everybody. There's all this residual damage. It doesn't matter because you're Timon or Pumbaa. One of them's going to be 4 cost, and they're going to sing this. So, or maybe it's both.
I'm going to go ahead and correct you right there because in no situation has Tinkerboom came down and it not mattered. Okay.
Yeah.
Even if you have this.
If
you probably
Tinkerboom
just got
down,
your whole board wiped.
That's true.
So, trash.
Yeah, I think this card's very mid.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there is a design space for like somehow if you heal, you can get lore or something like that. Kind of like in Keyforge, like heal and gain amber based off of what you've healed. But that could get dicey if that was like a whole other win con.
That'd be cool. I mean,
there is Rapunzel, which we haven't talked about yet.
There is Rapunzel, which is sick. But I mean, that would make all of the healing cards in Amber a lot more interesting than they are right now.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Because right now it's like Amber's like,
cool
yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Well,
I think Amber's pretty good.
With the healing, with the healing cards.
The healing stuff is...
You're not excited about the healing.
Yeah. There's one healing card that we were very excited about, but we'll get to it later.
Yeah.
Spoil it. Or, teaser.
All right. Guys, we have to redo our Mickey tier list. We got another Mickey Mouse. We've got a green Mickey. It's cost 7. It is not inkable. It's a 6/5 with 2 lore pips. It's a shift 5 with an ability called Misdirection. Whenever you play an action, chosen opposing character can't, underlined, quest during their next turn. Green wants to control, and Mickey Mouse is here to do it. Artful Rogue.
Which I like a lot. I like green. This, I think we are now seeing green's like other quirk that they have separate from other one. And it's keeping people from questing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how good this card is because I haven't played it enough, but just one scenario that I'm thinking is they play Moana on turn 5, which quests for 3 and readies all their princesses, which is like a huge combo for them the following turn. You can shift him and then sing a song or something and prevent Moana from questing on the following turn, which feels pretty powerful. That's just like one scenario that I thought of when I saw this. But he seems kind of good. It's cool that it's every time you play a card, an action card, so you can sing like 3 songs and then keep 3 of their guys from questing the following turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna try this in a card draw deck. I think that'd be so fun.
Yeah,
just to keep cycling,
just kind of chain like actions every turn and prevent your opponent's entire board from questing. I think there's going to be some combo that breaks this card at some point. It just feels like a card that is going to be a reality for.
Is this the first ban errata for you, Mike? Is that
I don't know.
Or is it Tinkerboom?
Oh, it's not Tinkerboom. I don't think that she'll get banned or errata. I think she's like crazy good, but I don't think it's like unfun. I think
this
this
could
has
get
the
unfun.
potential to be unfun. Well, I mean, it's never fun to get your board wiped, right? But it's not like unfair, I guess. I don't know. She's obviously really good. She's like the best card in the game, probably, like just by the numbers. But like anything that could potentially be like an infinite lockdown just like feels way worse.
Yeah.
And yes, your opponent can theoretically do other things with their characters, like sing or challenge, but I don't know. Maybe there's some other cards that eventually come out that prevent your opponent's characters from doing that too, and then all of a sudden, things go a little crazy. The whenever you play an action part is the scary part, because I don't know. I'm sure that they've done what they need to do to prevent this, but just like there's a lot of recursion already. Feels like there's potential for just like, I don't know if it even needs to be infinite, whatever the combo is, but enough to prevent your entire opponent's board from questing every turn. I don't know.
So I was on I was on an offsite meeting for my work. It was a 3-hour offsite meeting. I'm driving back, like at a stoplight. I open a text and I see this card. I pull over. I pulled over to read and reread this because that Mickey Mouse, because I was like, no way. Because again, just another Keyforge analogy. This like control the weak, mark of this, like the like you can't play a certain house has proven to be an effective strategy. The difference in Keyforge is you can't just drop 4 of these into a deck and be like, you're screwed, and I'm going to optimize this so you can't do things. Whereas in Lorcana, you're obviously building your deck around this. So I do have that level of concern. Right now, I'm just excited because I'm like, that's interesting. But I do have that level of concern for the future of how they're going to keep this balanced. But
sure.
What I think's really good about that about Mickey is that he's a late game card anyway because he costs 7 unless you shift for 5. But in a late game situation, he's super relevant because if you pair this with that 3-cost song that returns a character to their hand, then it's like you have this one character allows you to mitigate 2 things from questing because you're returning one to their hand, and then you choose another one to not be able to quest, and it can be like enough to keep them from being able to quest to win, and then give you the win on your turn unless they have an answer for your stuff. So I think that's really relevant at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, next song. Not next song. It's not a song. It's just an action. It's a green action called Do It Again. It costs 3. It's not inkable. And it says, return an action card from your discard to your hand. Oh, so we just saw this Mickey Mouse that's like just shutting you down.
Okay,
he can shut you down with Mickey Mouse and do it again and then do it again and do it again and just on repeat.
At first, I didn't think character like Lady Tremaine was good because of the recursion or like because of her stats and stuff. But the more songs that have came out, the better that recursion is because unlike in other games where it's like you pay to recur something and then you have to pay the cost, all these songs you can play for free. So you're basically turning any song in your deck that you end up getting to the discard pile into a 3-cost, essentially is what you're doing. So like the 7-cost board wipe, if you have a 7-cost character on the board, you pay 3, get it back, sing it for free, and then boom. Or whatever, like swords, 3 costs now if you have a 5-cost character on board. Like you probably aren't getting non-songs more often than not, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of good. I think it could get nasty too.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like because songs exist and they're free when you have the characters on board available, like this is that sort of toolbox sort of deck idea that we were talking about before, where you just pick whatever you need out of your discard pile, and you only have to pay 3 to get it back. This is not inkable and it costs 3, so it's like really not a card that you want to see in the first like 5 turns of a game, but
no,
when it is relevant, it's pretty good.
I have some issues with this card.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
I'm just gonna. I don't know if you can do this in post edit, but hyperspace jump is a Star Wars Destiny card that was able to be recurred and just end turns constantly. Like it was the most negative play experience thing that's ever happened in a game that I've been a part of. And this kind of recursion on a stick, like, oh, I hate it. I hate it. I don't even like that it exists. Where Mickey, I'm like, at least it's interesting, but this feels very bad for the game.
There are some differences between those cards.
All right.
Hyperspace Jump itself was really good, but the thing that was broken was the recursion, which was on the Millennium Falcon. And the Millennium Falcon could just do it for free every single turn, right?
No. He couldn't. It was on the special.
It was the battlefield, okay. But it was on the special of the Millennium Falcon.
It was the special, the Falcon.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to do it, you would have to claim the battlefield, which that battlefield specifically says turn it to a special resolve. So if you don't win your battlefield, then you don't get, it's not like something that you can actually do.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of moving parts.
It's also like Millennium Falcon stays on the board forever unless your opponent somehow deals with it, which they can't in early Destiny. Like this, you can play this card 4 times. Right. Like unless you use it to recur itself, but like then it's a wash. Like you might as well not be doing it.
All right. But then you Lady Tremaine to get it back too.
Yeah, but then you can do it 8 times. Like you recur actions 8 times. That is a lot, right? But there is no like concept of like end the action phase or whatever in this game either. So I don't know. I mean, I guess that there is like, your opponent can't quest with this Mickey. But that's a lot of pieces to put together.
Yeah, which we haven't even mentioned this combos.
That's what we said
Mickey.
about Hyperspace Jump too. And Hyperspace Jump was like a set 1 card that didn't get broken until set 3, and then it was obnoxious.
I think it was pretty. No, you could do it in set 1, right? I'm 99% sure that you could do it in set 1.
It was set 1.
Okay, well there you go. Anyways, back to Lorcana. Let's keep going. All right, we've got.
I was gonna say real fast is like you play this, grab the bounce song from hand, play this bounce song, sing the bounce song, bounce a character, and that's 2 action cards. So you get to choose 2 characters that can't quest.
Yeah.
So it's like that's really relevant with Mickey.
Yeah.
If you
3 characters that you
deal with 3 things
essentially.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, we've got the Stolen Scimitar. It's a 2-cost inkable item from green, and it says / exert. Chosen character gets +1 will or strength this turn. If I cannot ever remember strength and willpower. I like every time I say it, I cannot in my head. I'm like, which one is which? So I apologize to the listeners who are really frustrated. But anyways, chosen character gets +1 strength this turn. If a character named Aladdin is chosen, he gets +2 instead.
It's fine. I feel like equipment and magic like never really does that well, and this kind of has that same feel of just like it's fine. But
have you ever seen a Mike Rudin YouTube gameplay video? He's really good at item decks.
I don't ever want to play green in my item decks though. So I think this is already out. This is bad. We can move on.
All right.
I do want to say that I'm not a huge fan of it synergizing so specifically with Aladdin. Like if you don't want to play Aladdin, then this card's just like you're not playing this card unless you're playing Aladdin.
Probably true.
Okay, but I like cards like that for future design. Like I like cards that are like kind of snuck into a set and it sits below the eye level, and then future set comes out and then it unlocks a previous card. I like stuff like that. I love little like treasure. Treasure chests. Like
I don't mind it to an extent, but this card is just objectively bad. 1 cost to give something 1, and it's literally doubly better if you play it with Aladdin.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's bad too. Maybe future good, but who knows? All right, we've got another Hans. We already had 1 Hans. We got another Hans, but this one's in steel, and it's 4 cost. It's inkable. It's a 3/3 with 2 lore pips. It's a villain. Hello, Hades. Stage a little accident is its ability. Whenever this character quests, you may deal 1 damage to chosen character.
Take that, Pascal.
Yeah,
the subtitle is 13th in line. I haven't seen that. That's funny. That's good.
I actually think it's a pretty good card.
What do you think?
I think this card's sweet.
What do you think, Jim? I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I would say the ping damage is nice. The fact that you're kind of questing, getting to your win condition while also doing a little bit of control. Feel like it's rare that we've seen cards that can do both, except Tinkerboom, which can do everything.
You don't think a 4-cost 3/3 is just like such bad stats that it makes it really
I mean,
bad?
we were just talking about the
I think it's good.
4-3-3-3 being great. This one, like, it's another one that you're gonna have to answer because just like, is that annoying? What else can this thing do to me?
Yeah,
I think it's relevant.
You can ink it, which is
Yeah.
great. Yeah, I think it has to be answered. It's another one of those, like Jim said. So, if this stays on the board for any more than like 2 turns, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Are we getting to the point where like you could play 52 steel cards and 8 cards of another?
I think
Flash another color at this point.
probably.
I like it. I think it's vulnerable, but I like it.
David looks like a robot to us right now. I don't know if he looks like a robot to the rest of the video. So
Can you hear me?
I guess we'll find out after we're done recording this.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I think you caught back up. You caught back up for us.
That's weird. It was fine on my side, so I'm sorry. I don't know. Any other comments?
Okay. You're caught back up.
Okay. Moving on.
When I played this against Mike, it was pretty good at getting through elusive. So it was like you had to answer it because I was going to kill your elusive stuff. Pretty good.
Yep.
All right.
Next up.
Oh, yes. I'm so excited to talk about this. Rapunzel, 4-cost Gamboge yellow card.
God.
She's a princess. She's a 4/1/5. She is inkable, like I said. 2 lore pips. This is a legendary. I don't think I've noticed that yet. This is a legendary.
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow.
That's important. Gleam and Glow. When you play this character, remove up to 3 damage from one of your characters. Draw a card for each 1 damage removed this way. Card draw, people. It's never bad.
Nope, it's not. I like this card a lot. It feels like getting... I mean, if getting 2 damage off of it is really nice, but if you get 3 and you get to draw 3 cards, this card's just like insanely high value. I don't know what else. It's a princess, works with Moana. Quest for 2. It's inkable in the rare situation that you wouldn't want to play this. What I really like about it too is like you get to choose when the damage is on your character. Unlike in most situations where like healing sucks, you can swing in and then play this and be like, sweet, I get to draw cards. I don't know, I like it. I think it's good.
Yeah, this card, like, its play effect almost makes me think like bounce decks could work just for the sake of like, I could just do this to myself and be totally okay with it. So like it gives it enough flexibility where I'm just like, if I can draw that many cards,
I see.
I want to try it there, see what happens.
So, yeah, you're talking about bouncing your own Rapunzel, just
yeah, like the cards that's like, well, you don't love it because if they don't have a huge board, but you're like, I'd be fine with doing this and drawing an additional 2 or 3 cards.
Okay.
Yep. I think this is maybe the best Amber card.
I agree.
It's so good. Even if you draw 1 card off of it, I think it's still value. Like just on its stats, it's like decent, but card draw is so good in this game, and you get to make a good trade for yourself, heal the damage. It's just like it does so many things that you want to do, and keeps your hand juiced. Huge card in my opinion.
I like this with like a yellow blue deck, like a Merlin support thing where Merlin is giving her some extra stats. She can fight in because of Moana, and she's got 5 willpower, so she's not going down easy. So, and you don't mind if she takes damage because then you play another Rapunzel and you're like, yay! So
you pair her with the Carefree Surfer, and now you have so much card draw in orange.
Yeah,
yellow.
I'm waiting for some self damage cards too, because that also could unlock it.
That would make healing way better, where it's like the cost shifts away from the cost to the top left, and it becomes like damaging yourself. Like I don't know, like deal 2 damage to yourself and kill a character or something. I don't know.
Yeah, or if there was just a character that was like deal 3 damage to one of your characters and 3 damage to one of your opponent's characters or something like that.
Hey,
this card and draw 3
when
cards off of the heel.
When Toy Story comes, that's Sid's card. The
Oh my
next door
God.
Sid.
Yeah.
That's it. He's doing damage to his own stuff. Like, that's it.
I don't want to ever hear Sid and Rapunzel taking over the meta.
It's happening. All right, we got to keep going. Flynn Rider. It's a 2-cost inkable green storyboard hero prince. He's a 1/2 with 2 lore pips. An ability called Here Comes the Smolder. Whenever this character is challenged, the challenging player chooses and discards a card. So if you want to fight him, you got to get rid of cards. That seems pretty nasty.
Yeah, I think Jim had some pretty strong feelings about this card.
I'm cooling off a little bit since the opponent gets to choose the card, but I do think I still think making them discard something is really powerful in a game that cards are so important. But the more card draw that comes into the game, the worse this card gets. But the 1/2 stat line is pretty rough.
So Orange has LeFou, which is a 1/2 stat line that costs 2 and 2 lore, but his ability is different. He costs 1 less if Gaston is in play. Which one do you think is better, this one or LeFou?
This is way better.
This is better.
Like significantly better, I think.
Yeah, it's still playing to the control that like Green's wanting to do. Sorry, Emerald is wanting to do.
Yeah, I like this card. I think is better than Cruella, and Cruella is like semi-playable. It says 1 less health, but a way like worse challenge effect for your opponent, I think. And then the 2 lore is really nice. So I like this card quite a bit, actually.
Nice.
Yeah,
he seems good.
All right. Next up, we've got another yellow card. It's a 5-cost Maximus. He's inkable. He's a 4/5 with 1 lore pip with bodyguard and support. Super rare here, people. Bodyguard and support.
Is this the first one that has double keyword? It's kind of cool though to see.
I don't know. Is there one that with like rush and something? I don't think there is, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll quickly scan the card library.
I like this card a lot, though. I think.
Zeus says Rush and Challenger.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, I think this card's cool.
This card's really cool. The support hasn't been super relevant for me when I've played this card yet. I think because of the fact like it has bodyguard, so it wants to protect something, and that something is usually something that I'm questing with, not something that I'm challenging with. But it is nice to have the option to just give something for attack, which like feels pretty strong. But I've been enjoying playing with this card. I think like a 4/5 bodyguard is like pretty strong. I like it actually better than Goofy as a 3/6 bodyguard because the 4 attack is oftentimes a lot better than the 3 attack.
Sure. All right, we'll keep going. We still got lots to do.
I do wonder like how good a game plan is with like if it makes healing better, having a bunch of supports, and then like attacking in and then healing the person that you attacked in with, because you're also still questing in that situation. Yep. I wonder if that makes healing a little bit better, but probably doesn't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right.
It could.
We got another green card. It's 2-cost Megara. Is that how you say it? Megara?
Megara, but yeah.
It's Meg.
All right, cool.
It's just Meg.
I need to go back and watch
Hercules is the best, dude.
I don't remember.
Fantastic. It's so good.
Of the movies, this is probably the one I remember the least. But anyways, 2-cost inkable. She's a 2/1, which is, I don't think we've seen that stat line, but with 1 lore pip, and she says, Wonder Boy, when you play this character, a chosen character gets +2 strength this turn.
Mid. I think it's fine. It's like very situational, not bad stats. I don't know.
Because you don't play this on turn 2. Like you're not getting that effect.
You don't want
on turn 2. So it's like, okay, then if I get it late game or mid game, it's like that's still.
It just seems really bad.
Maybe there's some ally deck that unlocks this. There's been a lot of allies that are like kind of meh.
Yeah, those keywords, or subtitles or whatever.
Yeah, there's been no ally like synergy yet. Maybe there will be. That makes this more interesting. But right now, I think it's kind of boring.
Yep. And Tinker Boom just spits on it. All right. Next up. All right. Yeah. Oh gosh. We got another purple Elsa, 4 cost, inkable, 4/4, with a lore pip, and it's vanilla.
Yep. It's
All right. I got a story to tell you guys.
Oh my gosh.
One early afternoon, I was chilling, doing some work, looking at Discord. This card came out. Mike's first words were, "There's never a world in where I ever put this card in any of my decks, ever." And the very next deck he built had this card in it.
It is true.
Mike.
Okay, I really wanted to try the 8 cost Elsa, which we will see later. And I wanted to see if the shift was worth this card existing. The answer is no. Bad card. Let's not ever talk about it again.
Yeah, I mean, it's got 4 subtitles or whatever that could come into play later, but
yeah,
for now, whatever. Oh boy. Okay, I'm very excited about this one.
This might be my favorite card.
We've got Kuzco, y'all. Emperor's New Groove. I need to go back and rewatch this, but 5 cost, not inkable. He's a 2/4 with 3 lore pips. He's got Ward, which is not insignificant, and an ability called No Touchy, which is great thematics in my mind. I can hear, is it David Spade?
It is.
I can hear David Spade voice just coming through this card. When this character is challenged and banished, you may banish the challenging character. Coming in at rare.
Is that worded exactly the same as Cheshire Cat?
I'll look, but you guys keep talking about it.
I think it probably is, because I think it's the same. But this has Ward and it has 3
Banish.
lore pips, which is
this is a may effect.
Good.
The other one is a must.
Oh, interesting. That's
yeah.
weird. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder when you would choose not to banish the opposing character.
Unless you have like
I guess
hyenas that can
effect.
attack with your Scar deck and they get rewards for fighting.
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah. In any case, this card is sweet. I think it unlocks like a mid-range sort of value deck because of how difficult this is to deal with. And it has 3 lore, which is big and awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So far, Ward has not like settled in my brain as a really powerful thing until Mike and I played a game last night and I tried to let it go on Kuzco and I was like, oh yeah, Ward, that's a thing. It definitely forced some like awkward, oh, how am I going to deal with this at 4 willpower? Because we've talked on here before about how like 3 feels like very vulnerable because of Smash, Hook, like Tinker Boom and a Fire the Cannon, like all these like 3.
Clearly, you haven't played against someone that put double Aurora on board.
Yeah, that's also
I've watched you playing lots of double Aurora. Yes, but it was like a little bit of like Ward is a thing, and because we saw Ward on like the Green Aladdin early on, and we were like,
right.
Okay, whatever, okay. But when it's like on a 3 lore pip character, and you're like, I gotta like get this off in a couple turns, or I'm in trouble. I really like Kuzco.
He's a card.
He seems insane, and if you play a bunch of bodyguard around him, he gets even that much more difficult to take out. So unless you have double swords in hand, then good luck.
Yeah, or be prepared. But
be prepared.
If you don't have those,
yeah. All right. All right, we got another genie, guys. They should have released this one first. It's a green 2 cost inkable 2/3 with 1 lore pip inkable, and the worst subtitle ever, the ever impressive.
Because he's just a vanilla 2/3.
He's the most unimpressive.
All right. I think we can move on.
Moving on.
Oh God, here we go.
We've got Abu, 3 cost inkable red creature here. He's a 3/2 with 2 lore pips, vanilla.
Do you see anything wrong with this, David? All the other 3 3-cost vanillas were 3-3-3-2.
threes. Yeah.
So
Yeah. So why is this a 3-2?
I think
is this like the one card that is like ink identity, like vanilla? Like,
Yeah.
right. I think what this is doing is giving stock to your theory that allies will at some point be some kind of like tribal deck that's really good.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But for
Otherwise,
now,
there's no rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bad.
Right.
Next.
I mean, yeah, and this is so I played a deck with this next card that made Abu a little bit interesting, but not a lot of it, just a little bit more than he should be. But Scar, we've got an 8 cost, not 8, guys, 8. We're talking BLT range. Not inkable. Scar is the Shameless Firebrand is a 6/6 with 1 lore pip with shift 6. He is a villain. Rousing speech. When you play this character, ready your characters with cost 3 or less. They can't quest for the rest of this turn.
I think this is bad.
Yeah.
I still want it to be good. But
I know.
With the current card pool, I don't think it's good. It should have more than 1 lore pip. It really should.
But Jay's theory of maybe there's hyenas and they're, they got good on challenge abilities.
Yeah.
Maybe that unlocks this.
That's gotta be. So like if you have a bunch of hyenas that all gain lore when you attack with them or something.
Yeah.
Or steal lore or make your opponent lose lore. Something.
We're just handing ideas to the Ravensburger design team right now.
If this card costed 6, would you want to play it? Like if the shift wasn't on there and just cost 6, would that make this better or still like
it would make it better for sure.
1 lore on an 8 cost.
Yeah, one lore on 8 cost is so bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
I agree that there has to be some crazy on attack things going on.
Yeah, there has to be some payoff for this that we haven't seen yet because it's bad.
I mean,
this card lets you sing the destroy the entire board.
It does. Yeah.
Don't not say the name
Aladdin
of the song.
is better.
Jim. It's a great song.
Aladdin is better at doing that and more, and it costs 1 less.
100%. Yeah, this card's trash.
And he's inkable.
And he's inkable. The fact that this card is not inkable is crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna have to come back to this after we see the whole set.
Yeah,
I really
100%.
feel like there's got to be something
we have to be missing something here.
I don't think any shifts have been inkable. I think
Aladdin,
all the shifts.
Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, what about all the Floodborn? I think all the
Isn't he a Floodborn?
All shift cards are Floodborn.
He's not a Floodborn, is he?
Yeah, the 7 cost red Aladdin.
I'll have to look.
Yeah.
Interesting. So
Aurora.
All
as well.
the other ones? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trash.
He is Flipborn. I'm looking at it.
Just the expensive bad ones are not inkable, apparently.
Yep.
Surely there will be some synergy for this card.
Yeah.
There has to be.
Yeah. There has to be. Until then.
All right. Here we go. This one is this one had a lot of hype in the community. Everywhere I looked, I was seeing this. We've got John Silver from Treasure Planet. 6 cost, inkable, green, 5/5 with 2 lore pips with 1 billion subtitles.
5.
He is a legendary, so that's not insignificant. Pick your fights. When you play this character and whenever he quests, chosen opposing character gains reckless during their next turn. And again, villain, cool. Storyborn, villain, alien, pirate, captain. I've
never seen this movie.
Oh, it's so fun. It's nostalgia for me.
It's been a long time since I saw this.
Do you like the card?
That's a more pressing question, I suppose. Yeah, I think in the right deck, this could be a really cool card. It could potentially be a board clear at some point, but that feels like a lot of setup to make that happen, but could be cool.
I like the card. I think you could pair this very easily with.
We lost you.
We lost you again.
Oh, you're back. You're back. I think.
I don't know what's going on. No, I don't. My internet seems fine. There's no weather. I don't know. But
interesting.
You're back.
I think this go with stuff like Cruella, Cheshire Cat, where it's like, at the lower cost range. What?
Yeah.
Y'all get that?
Wait, sorry, we're laughing because like you're
It's like crossing
your
over
grunt is
audio.
like coming back in every like 3 seconds. I
It's
think we're
fixed
good
now.
now. Yeah, I think we're good
I
now.
think you're.
I was gonna say
you're
on my
smooth.
end, it's been fine. So I don't know how this.
I think on the recording
program
it's going to be
records
fine
us.
too.
Okay,
But
great.
it's going to be funny because we're reacting to what we're hearing, and the audience is not going to hear that at all.
Yeah.
It's great.
Like,
Someone
so,
else talk now.
This is going to be some great video.
Somebody else talk. At this point.
Jay, what do you
I think
thought?
this dude's super good. I think previous iterations of Reckless or giving Reckless has been really bad. Yago having to exhaust to do it, and then also having to put a card in your deck that costs like what 3 to give something Reckless or something
Mhm.
is just bad. But this dude, you play him, he gives Reckless on play, and every time he quests or challenges, so you're still getting to use them and give Reckless, I think is actually pretty good. And I think it will be relevant like a lot of other green cards that keep things from questing. You could, I think at some point you might be able to just like all game keep your opponent from ever being able to quest or do anything
Sounds so
that
fun.
gains lore. Yeah. So I like it.
Yeah, I think this is decent. I think I wish it was like a 6/6 instead of a 5/5, but I get it. 5/5 is still pretty big, and your opponent is unlikely to be able to kill this with the thing that you choose to, give Reckless. You're going to choose the thing that's the weakest probably, which maybe also is the thing that has the most lore on it. So I think it's cool. It's so much better than the 3-cost event or action card that gives Reckless to a character, because all you gotta do is pay 3 more and you get a 5/5 with 2 lore that can do this every turn. Yeah,
Take that all day.
100%.
I think he's good.
Yep.
Captain Hook.
Captain Hook. Here we go. Can you hear me? Am I good?
Yes,
You're
no,
good.
you're good.
Great. We got another Captain Hook, guys, in Steel. In case you weren't sick of Steel Captain Hooks. This one is called Thinking a Happy Thought. So start memorizing those subtitles for how we talk about this. Cost 5, not inkable. He's a 2/5 with 1 lore pip. He is a villain. Shift 3 with Challenger +3 and an ability called Stolen Dust. Characters would cost 3 or less can't challenge this character.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I think it's only worth playing if you can shift it, probably. And I think it's only worth shifting onto the 1-cost Captain Hook on turn 3. So I think if you can play this on turn 3 and have basically a 5/5 on turn 3 that your opponent can't really interact with that well, it's okay. But otherwise, I think it's kind of bad. It's also not inkable, which I don't really like. I'm not super excited about this being one of my uninkable Steel cards when there are so many better ones.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at with this card.
That's the problem. I don't feel like it fit. Like I feel like in the end, it's on the cutting shelf for. It's like, hey, you just not good enough.
Yeah. See, my head's over here already thinking of a whole new world with this card and wanting
you
to make
can
it happen.
Yeah.
Like if the whole point of a whole new world is you play out as much of your hand as possible and then get to recycle it real quick. Right. I'm like, this kind of gives it some legs for that kind of just chump everything kind of could work.
That's interesting. How fast can you dump your hand by turn 3? I guess.
I mean, you can get 6 cards out.
Yeah.
Ink 1, play 1, ink 1, play 1, ink 1, shift this.
And you can immediately play.
And cycle it on turn 3, technically.
But it requires such a specific hand.
Both Captain Hooks and 3 inkable cards and a whole new world.
Yeah. And both whole new world and this are not inkable.
Yeah.
Tough.
I think if I'm living in Jim's head, I like this card. But I think if I'm the one that's drawing the cards, that's never happened.
What you saw there was me thinking a happy thought, and that's what this card does.
I do love the theme of this card.
Yeah. The theme's great.
What is
happening?
He's like Floodborn. He's flying.
Yeah, he stole the pixie dust, and now he can fly.
Stolen dust.
It is the whole like Floodboard storyboard thing is really interesting now because I'm like, what are they doing with this?
Is he even a villain anymore?
On the card, yes, but I don't know.
On the card, yeah.
He did steal the dust.
Yeah.
True.
That's so funny.
I don't know.
The Hades deck is building itself. All right. We trudge along. We've got Jasper, Common Crook from green. He costs 3. He's inkable. He's a 2/4 with 1 lore pip and an ability called Puppy Napping. Whenever this character quests, chosen opposing character can't quest during their next turn. There's that word again, can't.
More of keeping your opponent from questing.
This card is so good. I think every time you quest, you're gaining 1, and your opponent is losing up to 4.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's nuts. That's
good.
So good. And it's a 2/4. Like its stats are fine for its cost.
For 3? Yeah. Heck yeah.
Like,
how many things are doing 4 damage?
And you can
because like I said, 3 was the liability because you're in steal range, but at 4?
I'm a big fan of this card. This goes in probably all of my green decks.
I just want to play a deck that's all about keeping your opponent from questing now.
You sound a lot like a mill player.
Let's do it.
That's the new way to mill.
I know Jay doesn't like mill, but he wants to do that.
It's like just the slow, painful death of like, we're playing 60 turns and you're going to deal with it.
Yeah.
That's like,
and you're going to enjoy this game.
Like blue mana energy.
Yep. All right. Next up, we've got his old buddy Horus, 3 cost inkable 4/3 with 1 lore pip, and it's just a vanilla.
Boring.
Which is ironically the best version of a 3 that deals with the other guy that we just talked about.
That's true, actually.
Yeah,
that's true.
Horus kills Jasper.
That's not wrong.
Wow.
I think generally 4/3 is probably worse than a 3/4, but
yeah.
I don't know. Moving on.
There you go. All right. Speaking of the Elsa tricks you were trying to play, we've got the legendary Elsa. This is the one. Cost 8, not inkable. The Spirit of Winter is her title. She's a 4/6 with 3 lore pips because she better be. Shift 6 with Deep Freeze. When you play this character, exert up to 2 chosen characters. They can't ready at the start of their next turn.
Cool card.
Really cool ability.
The art is awesome. Like this is definitely gonna be a chase card. People are gonna want this.
Yes.
Just because it's Elsa and because of how badass she looks. Before we talk about specifically about this card, compare this to Scar. This is so much better.
100%.
Yes.
3 lore and a much more relevant
hyenas,
ability.
Mike.
And I mean, you have to, you don't have to play it, but you have like the crappy like 4 cost Elsa, but the 3 cost Elsa is like totally playable. Whereas both of the other Scars are like kind of bad.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I love this card.
This card's great though. It does a lot of the things that you want to do at this stage of the game, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think giving 2 things stun is like really good. And it's not irrelevant to be able to shift this and quest for 3 on a like turn that you just win. Like, I mean, even if you have just one other thing out for 2 and you're at 15, and your opponent doesn't think you can win, then you shift this and you can say that about anything that shift, but I think more so with I don't think there's that many that shift that quest for 3 except Hades, but you also have to have a pretty big board for that to be possible.
So do you? Well, there Rockstar Stitch is similar as well, but
true,
different vibe. Do you play green purple and do the like you can't quest thing? And this is like your top end.
Yep, this is the one that you play at the end of the game, and you're like, "Oh, you thought you were about to quest with 3 guys? No, sir, not today."
I'd say if I'm playing an 8 cost that can't ink, though, it better basically win me the game. But I do think this being able to shift on turn 6, like you're calling check at 14, and I love cards that say like your opponent plays a characters on the board and they're like, all right, I got 20 unless you can do something. Like this can actually answer that.
This is one of the only characters in the game that can deal with multiple threats by itself. And late game, like we know that's super relevant. So
True. That's a great point.
Yeah.
I was also thinking about Elsa, and you got stuff like Rafiki and Zeus, and even like Dr. Faciliate, like these purple cards that like get stronger on the challenge side. So if you're able
to the audience, I'm sure you guys can hear David fine.
It's great. It's great. Everything's great.
What even
I'm
was
just going to keep talking. Y'all just finish this video
wish
out without me.
Hear the other thing I was going to say while David rambles on about whatever is this lets you exhaust when you do it, so you can technically shift exhaust something and attack into it with her if you needed to, like in a pinch.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
All right, David's dropping off and coming back, so hopefully he didn't just leave us. But do we have anything else we want to say about this Elsa before we move on?
Sweet card. I'll put 2 of them in every deck that I use purple.
Well,
ice is stronger than you may think.
Yeah. We're moving on from Elsa to Elsa. In red, it's 4-cost Inkable Elsa. She's a 3/4 with an ability That's No Blizzard. Whenever you play a character named Anna, ready this character. This character can't quest for the rest of this turn.
It's Frozone.
Frozone?
Basically.
It is a Frozone, like, to a
The
T.
Frozone pose.
It's so funny.
That's awesome.
Seems
this card's weird.
fine.
Yeah. Like, they both cost the same, right? Anna and Elsa. Well, at least the Anna that we've seen is also 4-cost.
Mm-hmm.
So
and you have to play with
You
purple.
have to play this first. Yeah, you have to play with purple.
Yeah.
And then you have to play this first. And then on turn 5, you want to play Anna to ready.
My guess is there's going to be a 5-cost red Anna coming out.
Which is only a 3/4. I think this is just bad.
Well, Anna's ability is also a play effect that checks if Elsa's on table. So, like, you play this first and then play Elsa. You trigger Anna's ability, and then you also trigger this ability. So it's kind of a cool combination.
That's true.
I think you're doing this just to keep them from, like, it's one of those things like Moana where you're just doing it so that they can't attack into it.
Sure.
But I don't know if that's good because she only quests for one. Like, what do you care if she's getting attacked into or not?
Yeah.
Yep.
This one's weird to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Bad.
Next up, we've got an uninkable 5-cost Tinkerbell. She's a 3/3 evasive with an ability Loyal and Devoted. Your character is named Peter Pan. Gain Challenger 1. And she has 2 lore.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
I think this is terrible.
Yeah. If this was inkable, I would maybe possibly consider it because of evasive quest for 2.
Yeah. 3 health is not enough for a character like this that costs 5 and is not inkable.
No.
Unless there's some Peter Pan that's just like giga busted if it gains Challenger 1.
I think this card's a common for a reason.
Oh, yeah, it is a common, huh?
It seems bad.
Yeah, like compare this to Goofy. Goofy is 5-cost inkable 3/4 with evasive and 2 lore.
Right.
I would love for this, like, if this was just a 5-cost inkable 3/4 with 2 lore and evasive and didn't have that Loyal and Devoted ability, great. Yeah. Amazing card.
Mm-hmm.
But
just wait for that fairy deck, man.
Oh, it does have a fairy trait.
Compare this to Tinkerboom, who is 1 cost more inkable and just insane.
I guess, I mean,
you just shift onto this.
You can shift onto this one. I don't know why you would, but you can.
Terrible value.
Yeah.
It is funny this one's called Peter Pan's Ally. Like, whenever the ally synergy comes in, and I'm sure they're going to be pairing them up with who they're supposed to be the ally for, this one specifically says who that is. Yeah, I'm curious if, like, there will be those distinctions in the future.
Yeah. Good question. All right. Well, very last card of the
You want to take it away, David?
Yeah.
I hope I can.
It looks like your quality is a lot better now.
I hope I can. I don't know.
You should have left and came back a long time ago.
Yeah.
All right. We've got Jafar, people. It's another Jafar in purple. We got 4-cost inkable. He's a 0/5. You did not mishear me. That's a 0/5. That's not my internet connection. That's real life. 2 lore pips. Is a villain. Hey, Hades. Hidden Wonders. This character gets +1 strength for each card in your hand. Pretty cool art.
So both
Art's
Jafar
awesome.
so far are 4 cost, inkable, 5 health, and purple, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I think this card's actually good. This has 2 lore instead of 1 compared to the other. He is missing the challenger, but you're playing purple, so you're probably gonna have a ton of cards in hand. I think he's pretty good. I think I play this over the other one, actually.
That's interesting. I think it's fine. I like that it has 2 lore. I like that it's inkable, and I like that it has 5 health. I think the attack is like kind of a trap. Like I once this card was spoiled, a bunch of people were like, "Oh, this card plus a whole new world is so good," blah blah blah. And it's like,
Nah.
no, like you get something that has 7 attack on turn 5 or whatever, and like that's the thing that is powerful about your deck. I don't think that's really like worth doing. Just play Dragonfire. But it has probably a relevant enough amount of attack for it to be playable at this cost, and like the health and the lore, I think, is why you play this. It's like this helps you quest and win the game, and when it gets attacked into, hopefully you have enough cards in your hand to banish whatever is challenging it.
I think the 1 lore makes it just so much better to me
than the other one. Yeah, I actually agree with that.
What's the other one? A 2 attack?
Yeah,
and
2/5 with
challenger 3.
Yeah.
I mean, how relevant is the 2 attack going to be?
Right. On defense.
Right.
This is probably better. Yeah.
I like the art
this card
on
makes
this
my
one
Flynn Rider
The art on this
hot
one's
take
sick.
from earlier great.
With what?
Exactly.
My Flynn Rider take from earlier, where they have to discard from hand, makes us pretty busted. So.
All right.
Cool.
All right. That'll do it for our spoiler recap. If you're still with us, you're awesome, and we love you. And if you're not in the Discord, get in the Discord.
Clearly, like hanging out with us. Come hang out more.
Yeah.
And if
except for Jim, because he's never in Discord.
Oh my gosh!
Somebody told this man how to open Discord. And we'll see you at Gen Con. We're three out of the 4 of us will be at Gen Con. The other will be trying to figure out how to download Discord on their phone. So thanks for hanging with us, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.